In this 3ds Max scene, we basically continue from where we left off in the previous video. So, this scene has a corona camera and a corona sun. If I press Shift and Q, I will get this render. The only light source in the scene is the sunlight. The next step is to place the artificial lights. The end result should look something like this. The corona light is a light source that is used to create physically accurate area lights of different shapes, like rectangle, sphere, etc. The first corona light I will place is the one in the ceiling. In general, when we want to place a light, it is easier to isolate the object, so that we will not get confused by the projection lines of the other objects in the scene. To do so, I will select the dropped ceiling and the walls, right-click and choose Isolate Selection. In the viewports we now only see the dropped ceiling and the walls. I will click in the top viewport to activate it, press Alt+W to maximize the viewport or hit this button and click on the Zoom Extends All command to center the object in the viewport. Sometimes, we need to click 2 to 3 times on this command to make it work. I will go to the Corona toolbar and click on the Create Corona Light button. Alternatively, I can go to the Command panel, click on the Create tab, and choose Lights. I will click on the photometric drop-down list and select Corona. I will choose Corona Light from the Object Type Rollout. From the settings below, I will go to the Shape section in the Corona Light Rollout and choose Rectangle. I will click, hold down and drag to create the Corona Light. With the light selected, go to the Modify tab and to the Shape section. Adjust the size using the arrows in the Width, Radius field. Moreover, I will use the Select and Move command to place the light in the correct position. Now that the light is accurately placed in the top viewport, I need to go to the front viewport and revise its height. To do so, I need to minimize this window, to see all 4 viewports. Right-click in the front viewport to activate it and maximize this viewport now. I will use the Zoom command to find the corona light and drag it using the Y-axis, the green arrow, and align it with the dropped ceiling. I'll return to all 4 windows, end the isolation mode and do a render to see how it looks. The light is too strong and too white. With the corona light selected, I will go to its settings in the Modify tab. I will reduce the intensity to 10. The higher we go, the brighter the light, while the lower we go, the less intense. Moreover, I will set the color to Kelvin temp at 4000 K. This looks much better now. Now, if I go to check the light mix list, we don't see the corona light we created. That's because to see them here, we need to go to the Render Setup window, to the Scene tab and to the Setup Light Mix button and press Generate. If I go to Now Render, the list gets updated to include the new light. I will reduce the intensity of the corona sun and of the environment, so that the artificial lighting will be the point of focus and not the natural light from the sun. I now want to copy the same light to the curtain pocket. To do so, with the light selected, I will hold down the Shift key and drag the mouse. When I release it, the Clone Options window appears, where I will choose Instance and press OK. If I deselect the light and try to select it again, I may find it hard due to the multiple objects present at that point. To easily select the corona light, I will go to the Selection filter, choose Lights and now click on the corona light. Next light I will place is the one in the wall lamp. Let's select wall lamp and isolate it. To select it, I need to change the selection filter to all. I will use the Zoom Extends All Selected command to zoom in the light. As I said previously, sometimes we need to hit 2 or 3 times the button to make it work. First, I will activate the front viewport and maximize it. I will click on the Create Corona Light button and then click, hold down, and drag along the wall light. I will adjust its size from the Modify tab and then using the Select and Move command, I will place it in the correct position. As before, I'll set the temperature to 4000 K and the intensity to 20. Next light I will place is the one in the desk lamp. As before, I will select it and isolate it. I will click on the Create Corona Light button and this time I will choose the disk option in the Shape drop-down list. Moreover, I will enable the Auto Grid option from the command panel. I will go to the perspective window. Click, hold down and drag on the lamp. As you can see, the light is aligned with the orientation of the lamp. I will reposition the light. End the isolation mode and produce a render. That's great. The next lights we will place are the recessed ones. As before, I will select the dropped ceiling and isolate it. I will create a corona light with rectangular shape and create instances for all the recesses. If I want to show that this recessed light casts light on this wall, then I will use an IES file. More specifically, I will select this light and create a copy over here. Be careful, in this case I selected copy and not instance since I want these two lights to have different settings. I will go to its parameters, to the IES rollout and click on the None button. Corona offers a few IES files that we can use. Let's try the first one. So, what do we see here? That the light distribution has a shape. I can increase the intensity to see it better. Moreover, I don't want to see the shape of the light itself over here. So I will go to the light settings, to the non-physical properties rollout and disable the visible directly option. Now the shape of the light is not visible, while our light keeps casting light on the wall. Let's try another IES file to see how the shape of the distribution will change. I will click on the real IES_bold.wise. The Select an IES Profile dialog box appears. I will select the second one. We can play around with the IES files to see which one works best for you. Apart from those that the Corona renderer offers, you can Google IES files and download other files from the web. Moreover, now that we have placed all the lights in the scene, let's generate one more time the light mix. That's all on the artificial lighting. So now, feel free to play with Light Mix to adjust the intensity and the color of all the lights in the scene and create different lighting scenarios.